Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Mitch and I make videos about credit. So anything that has to do with credit related, I'm pretty much your guy. I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to this subject. But obviously by the title of the video, this is actually this is going to be one of my different videos that I normally put out. Like I said before, I normally make videos about credit or credit tips or whatever, but yeah, in this video I'm going to be speaking about how is it that I bought my first property with honestly zero money out of pocket. I'm gonna try to go as much into depth that I can into this subject because again I want to explain it as simple as I can for anybody watching this or anybody who wants to purchase their first property, again with zero money out of pocket. So I don't want to overcomplicate it. I'm just gonna give you guys the gist of it and the actual facts and the most important tips that I can actually provide to you. So again, step number one is that you actually, instead of going and looking for the best realtor or the best realtor that somebody can recommend to you, that's the first skip. That's actually the first thing that I skipped. I actually went to a loan officer. So it doesn't matter who you go to, just go to a loan officer and find out how much you qualify for. That's the number one thing that you guys have to do. Don't go and hire a real estate agent and start looking at houses and she's gonna get you all pumped up and you're gonna be so excited, because that's honestly the worst thing you can possibly do for yourself. Again guys, number one, look for a loan officer or find out how much you actually qualify before you actually go looking for your first property. If you guys want to get in touch with the loan officer that I use, feel free to DM me, feel free to message me. Again, I don't earn anything by recommending his services to you, but if you don't know of anybody, let me know. And again, I just want to help you guys. So sorry for going on a little rant. So step number one, going to a loan officer or actually finding out how much you can qualify for. Once you know how much you qualify for, and for example, for my first property, I qualified for is $350,000, and that's including me and my wife's income. And due to the fact that we actually don't have any credit card debt, but we actually we have our cars, other things that is on our credit profile that actually made our income drop. But it was okay though, because we were still able to qualify for a $350,000 house. And our goal was to actually purchase a house anywhere from 300 and 320. So it was good. It was great that we had a little bit of wiggle room to play with, but I didn't want to exceed or even be at the top of our max. After you get approved and the loan officer tells you, okay, this is how much the bank's going to approve you, and he gives you a pre-approval letter, or not a pre-approval letter, but he gives you a certain paper and he gives you the okay to actually finally go and look at houses and go look for a real estate agent. So so step number two is go finding the real estate agent that you want to work with. And after you talk to her or talk to him or whatever, the second step that you want to, obviously this is the second step, but what you guys want to tell her is that, hey, look, this is exactly the budget that I'm qualified for. I don't want to look for houses over this this budget. Again, if you guys want to go at the top of your line, again, for example, mine was $350,000, but I told my real estate agent, I want to be below 325. So please show me any houses that are 325 and under. Even though I'm approved for 350, I specifically told her I do not want to look at houses over 325. It was just something of something me and my wife agreed. So in case you're wondering, okay, so step number three. So in this step or any time in the process, you need to actually tell your loan officer that you plan to apply for the FHA program, or your real estate agent. And FHA pretty much means First Time Home Buyer Assistance Program. So the way this program works is that the government gives you the money to for your down payment and for your escrow fees. Down the line you'll understand a little bit more of what escrow fees and not escrow fees, sorry, I apologize, closing costs. And the government literally gives you, I don't want to say give you the money, but they help you and giving you the money to pay for these fees. So again guys, first steps first, get a loan officer, find out how much you actually get approved for and how much you actually qualify to purchase your first property. Second step is finally contact the real estate agent and let her know what kind of house you're looking for, and tell her exactly, you need to tell her that you already been approved and this is the max budget. This is the max this is the max amount that the bank approved you for. And again, I don't know if you guys want to not exceed your max. That's totally up to you. Again, just a little bit, because of me, I didn't want to exceed my max budget, especially because I wanted some wiggle room in case I had to in case we had to go into negotiations and there was multiple offers on the house. But anyways, again, sorry, I don't mean to go on a little rant. But again, I think I was on the FHA step number 3. So again, that literally how I explained it. The government gonna hand you money for your down payment and for your closing costs. The down payment or your closing costs, you don't have to make a payment towards any of these of any of these loans until you finish paying off the house. That's when you finally start to make these payments on the loan that the government give you. But until then, which is going to be 30 years from now, you don't have to make any payments. The only payment that I make is for my mortgage. They loan me the money to buy my house, and they, even though they loan me the money for my down payment, I don't make any payment towards that. So the next step, once you finally find the house of your dreams, or whatever you guys want to call it, or the house that you want, what you're gonna want to do is gonna put an offer. Again, guys. Again, this is just my opinion. This is from my experience. You don't have to do this, but I'm just just telling you what I did. Is that whenever I found a house that I really liked, and we put an offer on 10 houses, and I'm so glad that we would back out. So sorry, let me explain to you a little bit how I went. So we found like 3-4 houses. In total, we found like 10 houses that we really did enjoy. And on the last house that I actually fell in love with, my wife hated that house, but I loved it. It was more of a fixer-upper house. I really wanted to, get my home improvement kind of, I don't know. I wanted to fix that house up. And for some reason, I don't know what happened, but we couldn't. When it wasn't on us, it was the people selling the house that I don't know if they had a change of heart. I don't know what happened, but the offer fell through. And I know deep inside my wife was super happy. Like, she was so happy. And my wife actually, that same day, she actually found this house that we had never seen. The layout was completely different. The area was actually less than 1 mile from all the house we seen. But this house was nothing from every other house that we saw. So immediately, and I hope you guys have this feeling when you guys buy a house. But when my wife showed me these pictures, and when we actually went inside to actually view this property, you're gonna get that feeling, and both of you guys are gonna agree, and you'll be like, wow, this is the one. And immediately after, we put an offer right then and there, and then that's when the real negotiation started. And what I mean by negotiation is that, I offered $5,000, or I think it was $7,000, or I can't remember the exact amount, but I always offer less than what the actual listing was. Honestly, I don't know. I'm just a very frugal person, that I'm always gonna offer you less than what I wanna pay, and I'm always gonna test the waters. And I wanted to see if this guy was a motivated seller, or if he was firm on the price or whatever. And I just wanted to, kind of see what direction we were gonna go at. So I remember we put an offer, and then he came back at full price, and then I went back and I only offered maybe like $3,000 more. And on top of this, guys, I know he was pretty upset at me because I wanted him to cover my closing costs. Again, once you know more about this subject, you understand that you have to pay closing costs, but there's a way around it, and this is the avenue that I went that I used for. So I told him that I wanted to pay like $7,000 less for the house, and I wanted him to cover my closing costs. And it does happen. A lot of people, and especially if they're motivated sellers, or they just want to get rid of the property, they would do anything for you just to buy the house. But this guy he was actually an investor who actually flipped his home. He didn't do a lot of renovation, but he did, in my opinion, he fixed up the house, but it wasn't like a full remodel. Like, everything was like brand new, and I had brand new, like, kitchen counters and nothing like that. It was just, he kind of, the way I would describe it was more of a lipstick effect. He changed the tile, he put new carpet, he painted the whole house. So little things like that. So anyways, sorry guys, where was I? So we went back and forth. He would write a contract, I would write a new contract, and it's a back and forth. Everything now is done through email, so you don't even have to go to the office. You just have to, check your email, and you sign, and, you counter offer, or you accept his offer, so forth and so on. And again, guys, I don't want you to feel bad for constantly bugging your real estate agent, because honestly, I didn't. I would bug her at any time, any day, because I don't mean this in a bad way, but she's gonna get good commission off this property, you know. And I'm gonna be stuck with this property for 30 years. So guess what? I'm gonna bug you and make sure that like any questions that I have, I'm gonna ask you, because I'm gonna be stuck with this, you know, this loan for 30 years, or this is one of the biggest purchases that you will ever make in your life. So I do want to point that out, guys, that I do encourage you to bug your real estate agent. They're so used to it, and who cares? You're gonna actually, she's making money off your commission. So anyways, sorry, I know, again, I need to stop saying sorry. I need to stop interrupting, just getting to the point of this video. So again, we went back and forth. We finally settled on the number, and he actually ended up covering half of my closing costs. And if you guys are aware or knowledgeable about this, closing costs can go anywhere from $7,000 to even $20,000. So I made him. What he did is that he lowered the price of the house, but then I ended up paying a little bit more for the house because he covered my closing costs. But then again, I didn't have to pay any money out of pocket for my closing costs. And again, guys, if the house that you're trying to buy, the seller it doesn't want to cover the closing costs, again, the government's gonna give you assistance, gonna give you money to cover your closing costs. So there's no money out of pocket for you. So once we finally close, what happens next is that escrow. There's gonna be a third party involved that's gonna call escrow, and that they put up. You know, we're gonna have to put some money down just for him to see that we're serious buyers. And I think we only put down like $3,000, and then and that's just, and he doesn't get the money. It's the escrow company that's gonna be holding your money, just so he can see that you're a serious buyer and that you're not gonna be wasting his time, and you know he's not gonna agree on a price, and you know, and then we're gonna back out, because us as the buyers, we can back out of the deal any moment within a certain amount of time. So once you guys settle on the price, again, you know, there's gonna be they're gonna include a third party, a neutral party that doesn't know him, that doesn't know me, that again, it's 100% neutral. That company is gonna hold my money just so that the person who owns the house that I want to buy can see that I'm a serious buyer. And after everything was said and done, the escrow company, you know, once we do, you know, dot our I's, cross our T's, they are gonna refund me back my money. You know, they're just holding that money just so they can see that we're a serious buyer, and that, you know, we're not wasting their time, I'm not wasting my time, we're not wasting the real estate agent's time, and we're not wasting the loan officer's time. After this process is when you're going to sit down with your loan officer, and then he's going to break down the numbers. He's going to tell you exactly how much your payment is and how much taxes you're going to pay, and you know, out of, you know, the money that you have in escrow, if there's any fees that you need to pay. And to be honest, I know I said in the video I paid zero money out of pocket, but there were some fees that you have to pay no matter what. And I think out of pocket, I still ended up paying, I can't remember, but it wasn't a big number. I think I think it was like $1,100, like, which is chump change compared to buying a $320,000 house, guys. So again, I do recommend that if you're gonna buy a house, one of the first things that one of the first tips that I want to offer is that at least have $3,000 to $5,000, just because you need to hold some money in escrow. Again, guys, you're gonna get all this money back minus the fees that I just said. So for example, I put $3,000 in the escrow account, and with all the fees, and again, fees are gonna vary depending on the house you buy and the fees that the loan officer is gonna charge you. But again, for the simplicity of this video, I put in $3,000 and I had to pay like $1,100 in fees. After everything was said and done, after escrow closed, and after I got the keys to my house, they gave me a check for $1,900, the difference of what I had to pay the loan officer, or whatever fees it was involved. Again, if you guys want more detailed explanation, please feel free to DM me. I actually still have all my paperwork where I can send you a picture and, you know, kind of break it down of what the fees that I had to pay for. Oh, and on top of that, I had to pay the house appraisal. The fees that were included in the $1,100 was, I had to pay for the bank to come and appraise the house and make sure that it was actually worth what the seller was selling it for, because the bank's not gonna loan you money if the house is not worth what he's trying to sell it. So let me give you an example. Let's say the seller's trying to sell this house for $400,000. The bank's not just gonna be like, okay, yeah, he said it's $400,000. Let me just go and loan you $400,000. What's gonna happen is that the bank is gonna come and look at the value of the houses around this house, and is actually gonna do a walkthrough of the house to see if it's actually worth $400,000. In our case, the house actually came out what the bank appraised our house was actually more than what we were selling it for. So there was no problem for them to approve our loan. So again, guys, if you're gonna have to pay for the bank to appraise the house. That's a fee that I had no idea. I was actually blindsided by this, but again, I had money to pay for this, but I wasn't aware of it. That's what the only thing that bothered me, that I wasn't aware that that this was gonna come out of my pocket. So, and this costs anywhere, I think it cost me anywhere from $300 to $400 just for the bank to come out and give me an estimate value of what the house is worth, and for them to be like, okay, I can loan you the money because the house is worth what you're trying to loan, what the loan that I'm trying to get. I think I just confused myself, but you guys probably get it. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm dyslexic, so I always twist my words around. So anyways, once that's said and done, another fee that I did not encounter, and I should have been aware because I was doing a lot of research, was you're gonna have to, this is optional. Again, I chose to do this because, again, this is one of the big investment or purchases that you're ever gonna make in your life. What you need to do is have somebody to come and inspect the house. So I hired a third party company to come and check out the house to make sure the foundation was right, make sure the roof was okay, make sure that there was no plumbing issues, make sure that everything was up to code. And during this whole scenario, even though I paid for this guy to come, I paid for this company to come and inspect the house, these assholes didn't inspect the water heater. And this is one thing that I do recommend, that if you're gonna buy a house, that's the number one thing to look out for, is your fucking water heater, because water heaters are fucking expensive. And I learned this the hard way. After me and my wife moved into the house, our water heater, within 4 days, it didn't work. I went in at 4 in the morning and I hopped in the shower, and all that came out was cold water. I was like, the fuck is going on? Sorry for going on a rant. I'm just throwing that out there. Make sure that when you guys hire that third party company, or even if you don't hire a third company, make sure you get your uncle or your dad or anybody who knows about water heaters to make sure that tell you that water heater is going to be good for another 5 years or 10 years. Because if that water heater is not working, you can use that as leverage when it comes to negotiating the price of the house, and you can tell the guy, hey, fix the heater and then I'll buy the house, or lower the house by $3,000 more because I'm gonna have to pay for a brand new heater. I think my heater, after negotiating with the company that I bought the house for, I think I ended up paying out of pocket like $1,000 for a water heater to Now I'm happy it is, because I love warm water. But that's just a little recommendation a little tip that I can throw out to you guys. Make sure that the water heater works, and your AC. Those are going to be one of the top two risk factors that you're going to want to assess in the house: water heater and the AC, because those are going to be a big items to replace. So again, guys, step number 1, make sure you go to a loan officer and see how much you're actually approved to buy a house. Step number 2, get the real estate agent and let her know exactly what you want, what area you want. Step number 3, let them know about that you're going to purchase this house with an FHA loan, because not a lot of people don't want to sell to first-time home buyers, because they want cash. They want people to pay out of pocket with their cash. And one thing that you might not know is that when it comes to FHA, if you're gonna list the house and and the person who wants to buy it is gonna be a first-time home buyer, it's under the first-time home buyer program. There's actually, the government holds them to more strict rules and strict like the house has to be in tip-top shape. It cannot be a fixer-upper. So if you're trying to buy and flip real estate and it's going to be your first home and you're trying to use an FHA program, this is going to automatically disqualify you, because the FHA program is not going to allow you to buy a house that needs a lot of work. They're going to let you buy, they're going to mainly approve you for houses that are move-in ready. Again, mine wasn't all fancy or nothing like that, but it was move-in ready. So something that I did not know, which I'm glad I know now, because a lot of people always ask me, I want to flip my first house. I want to buy a house just to flip it and make some money. Can I do the first-time home buyer program? And the answer is going to be no. They're just going to deny you. They don't do that. They do that for people who want to buy a house and live in that house. So again, guys, those are pretty much the main factors and the main things that I can actually recommend to you guys and actually point out to you if you guys are going to buy a home and you guys are going to use a FHA program. Literally, this house, you couldn't buy a house with zero money out of pocket. But again, in my situation, I ended up paying $1,100, and that's because I had to pay for the bank to appraise the house, which again I didn't know, and two, for the I hired a third party company to come and inspect the house, because you want to make sure that you're buying a good house. You want to make sure that it's not gonna, in the next earthquake, the foundation is gonna give out, and you're stuck paying this house with that just went to the crumbs. This whole process of escrow can take anywhere from 30 to 45 days. So if you're gonna buy a house, and the moment you and the seller agree on a price and you guys sign the contract, you will not get your keys within 30 to 40 days after escrow closes. As the moment that escrow closes, that house belongs to you, and you can literally move in the minute after escrow closes. So again, that was something that I didn't know. I didn't know that once me and the seller agreed, I would have to wait another 30 to 40 days in order to finally move in. And this is something that that helped me out as well, that I didn't have to make, when you move in, you don't have to make your first mortgage payment. They give you a month to settle in, and then you make your first time payment, your first monthly payment. So again, guys, I hope this video helps you. If you guys have any questions, or if there's something that I didn't cover that you think I should have covered, please feel free to DM me. Again, guys, if you guys know me, I'm all about just helping people, and I just want to give out and kind of, give you some advice that wasn't available to me, because I didn't know anybody, anybody who have done the process, anybody that has bought a house that I personally knew. So yeah, any questions, please feel free to DM me. I know there's a lot that I didn't cover because I didn't want to, overwhelm you with so much information, but I covered the main things that include buying a house with, literally no money out of pocket. If I would have had the FHA give me a loan for my closing costs, I wouldn't need to pay the $1,100 pocket, because I just didn't want another loan. I didn't feel like I needed it. But if you do need it, they're gonna give you another $10,000 of free money to cover all these closing costs. Plus, if you have some left over, you can go on a shopping spree and buy new furniture, so forth and so on. Me and my wife personally didn't do this because we just didn't want to. We were financially okay to buy furniture and buy everything else, but it's actually a pretty good incentive. But it's hard. It was really hard to say no to that extra money, but me and my wife, we knew what we wanted, and we declined that offer, but because we had money saved up. We just wanted to buy our first house with as much little money as possible out of our pocket. So again, if this video helped you out, if you learned something new, please give me a thumbs up. Please feel free to send me a DM, put it in the comments down below, or again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna be throwing out a lot of golden nuggets and a lot of free information that a lot of people don't post. And it's funny because when I was purchasing my first house, and I obviously went on YouTube, there was a lot of people that are giving out advice on how to buy a house that didn't have a house. So it's like, at least now I can actually give out this information knowing that I actually went through the process and I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. So till next time, guys.